CBS News found President Trump interrupted Joe Biden over 70 times in their first debate in Cleveland. This led to a chaotic nature where at times it was hard to hear what the candidates were saying. The moderator of that debate, Fox News' Chris Wallace, reprimanded the president for not following the rules.
And by the way, my son...
Wait a minute. Mr. President, your campaign agreed to both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
He never keeps his word. Can you add
no, I'm not asking. That was a rhetorical question.
Can you add back 30 seconds?
Yeah, yes,
okay.
You may have.
All right.
There were also moments like these at the vice presidential debate earlier this month. Here's how moderator Susan Page of USA Today responded.
Let me also say, the American people deserve, Susan, the American people deserve to know.
Vice President Pence, I did not, excuse me,
Susan,
I did not create the rules for tonight.
Joe Biden.
Your campaigns agreed to the rules for tonight's debate with the Commission on Presidential Debates. I'm here to enforce them, which involves moving from one topic to another, giving roughly equal time to both of you, which is what I'm trying very hard to do.
Go right.
For more on this, I want to bring in Susan Page. She moderated the last vice presidential debate between Mike Pence and Kamala Harris. She is the Washington bureau chief for USA Today. Welcome, Susan. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, it's great to be with you, Tanya.
So, Susan, with your experience serving as a moderator, explain what it's like to try and gain control when the candidates continue to talk over each other. I mean, how do you get in there?
You know, it's hard. I think you saw both Chris and myself kind of struggling to make sure that the debates that we moderated proceeded in a way that was fair and productive for viewers. I mean, I really felt that I was there to try to make the debate informative for the voters who were watching, and it was a task. You know, for Chris, I think had a more difficult debate than I did because President Trump was pretty disruptive in his debate. And we'll see if the mute button for part of the debate tonight helps make the debate format just work a little better for people who are watching at home and trying to make up their minds about who they might want to support.
You're right. So let's talk a little bit more about this new mute feature at tonight's debate. Nothing like this has ever been done in a presidential debate. How do you think it will turn out? And do you think that, you know, the moderator should have been given a mute button for other times, you know, besides the 2 interrupted minutes as well?
You know, I think let's start small with the 2 minutes responses that each candidate is able to give on each of the 6 topics that we'll have tonight, because that is time that was designed under the rules to be uninterrupted, a chance for them to make their case. Actually, the rest of that conversation on a particular topic is supposed to be a little bit of a free-for-all. I mean, it's supposed to be a debate. You want to have the 2 candidates interact with each other and make their case, ideally not just talking over each other, but a little rough and tumble is something that I think is okay in a debate. The trouble is if it's all rough and tumble and no one can finish a sentence, then I think it loses some of its value.
Have we seen the future here? Well, is the mute button here to stay, do you think, for all future presidential debates?
I don't know. I don't know if this is particular to the moment that we're in. I'll tell you the one thing I do worry about. I worry about if people say these debates are not worthwhile. Let's not have debates. I think that would be a big mistake. That would be throwing out the baby with the bathwater, because these debates are the only chance we have to see these 2 candidates next to each other, talking to each other, being questioned by somebody who's not necessarily a friendly questioner. Otherwise, all we would have would be paid TV ads and interviews with interviewers that they choose to have talk to them. So let's make sure that we protect the debates as an institution, even if they need some tweaking. We'll see how the mute button works tonight. Maybe it's great, a great innovation that we'll see in the future. Ask me tomorrow morning, and I'll tell you what I think.
Absolutely. I mean, we cannot forget that these debates are really for the voters at home to learn more about the candidates. And what does it really accomplish when, you know, the candidates are not following the rules and the voters cannot even hear what the candidates are trying to say? Ideally, what is the purpose of a presidential debate for voters? And when you think about that and you think about how close we are to Election Day, November 3rd, right around the corner, really, and the fact that so many people have already started to cast their votes, do you think that this particular presidential debate is going to sway many minds?
You know, we have almost no persuadable voters left in this country. We know that from the polling. When we ask in our polls if you're undecided, the number of undecided is down now to around 5%. And when you ask, is it possible you'll change your mind, that number is also very low, below 10%. So there are not many people who are persuadable. But one thing debates can do is affect those handful of people who haven't made up their minds. It also can encourage or discourage people from bothering to go vote. And so getting out the vote is one of the goals I think the two candidates will have tonight. This debate is not everything, but it is the last big event of this campaign. 12 days before the voting ends, this is the last chance for these two candidates to make their closing arguments to an enormous audience.
Indeed, and we will all be watching. Well, Susan Page, thank you so much. You did a great job moderating that vice presidential debate. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you.